It was just, apart from, and we'll get into the sort of details of it, but apart from anything else, it was so much fun as a game. Maybe not from a Tottenham fan's perspective, but certainly there were moments in there where it felt like the comeback might even if not a comeback, then there were a few nervier moments for Liverpool where it could just have... everybody's frowning at me as if...
I think it's always fun, isn't it? I mean, that's one thing he does guarantee. He said it himself. Are you not entertained? And we certainly are. You know, he guarantees entertainment at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium or wherever they play. There's always going to be goals. When I turned up there, I thought, might be a 0-0 today. But I'm not really. I mean, no one thought that. Everyone knew there would be goals. They didn't imagine there were going to be 9 goals. But I just didn't fancy Tottenham. I really didn't. When I saw the team, he's had a lot of injuries, of course he has. But I knew they were going to play this wide open. No matter, irrespective whether Slot says in his interview, it doesn't matter what anyone says. He plays the same way anyway. Yeah. It's Postecoglou who's going to play one way, and that is it. That's the way. On the front foot from minute 1 till the last minute of the game. And they're wide open. And when you're playing against top players, which have got so much confidence at the moment, you're going to, you know, there's a good chance you're on the end of a hiding. Tottenham can beat anyone on their day. We've seen that when they beat Man City, albeit Man City are not what they used to be. But they can also lose to anyone. You know, it was a very disappointing day for Postecoglou, and he's going to get asked questions. There's always more questions than answers regarding Ange Postecoglou at the moment, and I'm a big admirer of the way he goes about it, but it's just not working at the moment against the top teams.
Tim talked about top players being full of confidence. One of those, of course, as always, is Mohamed Salah, who's become the first player to reach 10 goals and 10 assists before Christmas. He's just breaking records for fun at this stage of his career. He's gone above the great Billy Liddell at Liverpool in terms of their top goal scorers. But, I mean, again, it's just the ease with which Liverpool were... I mean, yes, it was a very good performance from them, an excellent performance from them, but the ease with which they were able to cut through Tottenham.
Yes, and you're talking about quality players with time and confidence against the Tottenham side that really couldn't get close enough to them to stop them. And then you've got Salah, for me, arguably one of the... Obviously, we saw Erling Haaland with his unbelievable breakout season with the amount of goals he scored, but in respect to the consistency, how many years he's been doing it, this could be one of the best forward performances in a season I've seen for a long time. This is, if he carries on doing what he's doing now, honestly, I can't imagine what he's going to end up with the numbers, because even when he's quiet in the game, he's still doing something. And I think what happens because of that is the other players are just playing so well. So when he gets, when they say, right, your turn, bam, he does something. It's brilliant what he's doing at the moment. I hope he keeps it up for his sake.
Did you not think at the end of last season he looked unhappy? It looked like, to me, it was the beginning of the end for him at Liverpool. Now I don't see that. I think he's more likely to sign a new deal than not. I think he's not going to go certainly to a bigger club than Liverpool Football Club at this stage of his career. A couple of weeks ago, he takes his shirt off. It's only a number, the age. You've seen the condition he's in. He's in amazing condition. He allows the manager to talk about him away at Newcastle when he says, how can he be that bad for an hour and then all of a sudden you turn it on late? There's no coincidence he turns it on when Trent Alexander-Arnold comes on the pitch, because he makes movement, because he knows that he's got a range which can find him. He's just a little genius. And I agree with Wrighty. I think with the smile he's playing with at the moment, when the player's happy, and you know this, Wrighty, you're not thinking about anything other than enjoying your football, and you know you've got the ability with a good side, with the confidence they have, with a new manager. Everything is looking perfect for Liverpool at the moment. I did tip up Arsenal to win the Premier League. I watched them yesterday, and I'd have to change my mind. I'm allowed to change my mind.
Of course.
But I think by watching them firsthand and the way they performed, especially in that first half, and dismantled. All right, it wasn't a great Tottenham side, but they, like I say, they have taken some scalps. They look sensational. Every player knew what they were doing. They had wonderful balance, the width of Gakpo and Salah. No centre forwards.
Diaz drifting. Szoboszlai's energy through that midfield, and then again, not only because a couple of weeks ago I was saying I'm not sure what his main strengths are, but what you see, he's got a lot of energy, quality on the ball, and he can get in the box and score. And so you've got Gravenberch who's getting a lot of plaudits this season, rightly so. Then you've got Szoboszlai now. And McAllister. It just feels like the balance. It feels right now. And again, when you're looking at players who are playing well, and then you've got your main guy who sees players playing well, not just all on him. Oh, what's he going to do? Oh, what's Saka going to do? Oh, what's Haaland going to do? When they see other people do it, it makes it even better for them, makes it easier for them to be able to produce what they're doing.
Yeah.
Just remind us what Szoboszlai said to you after the game yesterday, in case people didn't see the live coverage.
Well, I asked him, because I saw him getting some cramp, and I said, you got some cramp there late on the game. He said, yeah, but there was wide open spaces from midfield areas. They knew that there wasn't, for Dragusin and for Gray, two young centre-backs there was no one to mark, and they knew that they would come deep into them areas. And he just said the space just kept opening up, so I kept running into it. And he said, you know, it's like we all want to score goals, we want to create goals as midfield, and there was so much space, I just had to keep going. But I realised that it was tiring my legs out, but I just could not resist taking that opportunity to burst into the open space. They'd done all the analysis on Tottenham. They knew exactly what to expect, and it worked perfectly for them.
Do you know what was interesting about this game, just from a kind of overall season perspective and an Arne Slot perspective, is that when he came in, it was, this is going to be a much more controlled Liverpool. This is going to be a much steadier Liverpool. We won't necessarily get the fireworks that we did under Jurgen Klopp. And then there were sort of moments of that happening. There was the performance with 10 men against Fulham, which showed a different way to do it. And then there was this performance where it was almost as though Liverpool were saying, well, tell you what, if you want to bring the chaos, we'll play in a chaotic way as well. We'll do that.
They have so many gears. I think they have answers to any questions asked to them. I think they have solutions for any problems that somebody can come up with. Even as Girona in the Champions League, they don't play well, they find a way. Against Chelsea at home, they don't play that well, they find a way. Away Arsenal, they're under pressure, they find a way of getting a draw. They seem to find solutions to every problem, and if they need to play one way, they do. If they need to play on the counter mode, they do. If they need Trent involved more, they do. So all of that, and I think he's done that in, what, 1st of July until now, so what, 6 months?
That window of Gravenberch and that last window, when was it Szoboszlai? Did they go in the same window?
Yes.
The fact is that we always speak about Liverpool and they needed to sort the midfield. It seems like Schlott's come in, and when you read like forums off of like Feyenoord, they say he can easily do an academy all the way through the club in respect of sorting something out. He's got to Liverpool and there's so much already in place. We haven't even seen Arne Slot with the team, what he's built properly. We haven't seen that yet. So we're just seeing that somebody come in and pick up the pieces and just put them in the right places. We were talking about whether or not the consistency, would Salah can do it, would Virgil van Dijk do it, Trent, would he still do it, Diaz. Nunez obviously was still, so we don't know what's going to happen with Nunez, but Diaz, you know, Gakpo, he's got so many players playing well, and we're not even seeing...
Talk about Mo Salah, if something happened to him or Virgil, you know, that could be their Achilles heel throughout the season. Of course it could, but I think they could cope. Konate has been outstanding and they've missed him. But Gomez was so good yesterday. Watched him at first hand. So quick, breaking down their attacks. When Son was going down the left, he was just things up and playing out. They were excellent yesterday. I can't speak highly enough of that Liverpool team yesterday.
15 goals for Mo Salah this season, and Tim was talking about whether or not Liverpool could cope without him. Diaz on 7, and then it's Gakpo and Jota with 3 each. But some of that is down to the way that Liverpool set up because Mohamed Salah is in the team. Does it look as though Liverpool would be able to? Is this now their title to lose if they can keep everybody fit? And even if they can't, are there solutions within that?
Well, like Tim said there, if you lose Mo Salah, which doesn't happen, does it? You know, touch wood. Injured, you know, if you lose him or a Virgil or even like they even lost Alisson and Kevin came in and done very well. Kevin Keller came in and done well. I think that's the only problem they could have if Mo got injured in and around this time, because with the amount of points now, you're looking at the points now, and you think to yourself, yeah. For me, Liverpool, with the game in hand as well, the way they're playing, it is Liverpool are favourites to win the league, and they know, and they will know that now. They will know that now, because this is where you'll want to kick on. This is where you want to kick on. So I think that it's without doubt Liverpool's now the main title challenges, without a shadow.
I think the camaraderie and I look at their faces, like even Mo Salah yesterday. I mean, right, you can answer this. Do you ever score 2 goals and get brought off the field?
No.
No, because they want to keep you on, because they know how much you want the hat-trick. He scores 2 goals yesterday, he brings him off the field, gives someone else the opportunity. He's trying to preserve him, save his legs. If that was Jurgen Klopp doing that, he comes off. I love Jurgen Klopp, if he was brilliant for the Premier League, but he would have had the ump. But I looked at him, as he was coming off the pitch, I looked at him, and he felt like, I'm part of a team. This is the environment. Someone else needs it, and he is doing it for the right reasons, to save my legs. He wasn't thinking about himself. I think in previous years, even though his numbers have been outstanding, I think he's always been a wee bit on the selfish side, even though his assists are incredible, and you saw it yesterday with the assists. But I just think it's a happy camp there. And it's really important. You go into training every day that everyone feels part of it. You don't know what team he's going to pick. I mean, there's a few of them, like Virgil knows he's going to play every week, and Mo Salah. Other than that, I mean, you see how he keeps me. Even Sloboslai, who was outstanding yesterday, sometimes he sits on the bench. Curtis Jones plays. So he's keeping them all guessing. It's brilliant at the moment.
And the thing is, it's easier to keep a happy camp if you're winning, and that's what Liverpool have been doing, and that's what means that they are top at Christmas. They have a Christmas #1 spot in the Premier League, and there it is. They've been top in the top flight 20 times before at Christmas. This is the 21st time, and of those previous 20, they've only won it 11 out of the 20. So it's not always, but this is a lead of 4 points with a game in hand as well. So it is slightly different, and also they've gone on to win it before, having not been top at Christmas. But it's just, look, it's a place you'd rather be in than not. Let's put it that way.
The same debate. Would you rather be the hunter or the hunter? So do you rather be top with those points already, or being chasing behind? I'm not sure. There's different answers. And the last 2 times where they were top at Christmas, they got beaten by Man City, the great Man City with Pep Guardiola, not the City that we have now. So any other year without City and Guardiola, they win those titles too. So I don't know. They look so strong right now, apart from maybe an injury or two, like we said, maybe the fact that they could go far in the Champions League and already in the League Cup and maybe in the FA Cup. At the end, there's so many games that maybe that could derail a little bit their form in the league, but I don't even see it. I just don't know what can happen to them to bottle this up.
Jules, I think they'll go about this. This is where, you know, it's coming now. We're coming to Christmas. Go through this period. This is where they'll manage how they're gonna navigate finishing this off now, because you look at it, a game in hand of 4 points. It's not a lot, but who is playing well enough to put them under pressure? Because that's what's going to have to happen for Liverpool as well.
And it's a game in hand of 4 points of Chelsea, who drew at Everton at the weekend, being in Liverpool, the title challengers, the title favourites, and they put 3 goals past them. It looks like everything is working well going forward, and they have injuries at the back, which they are struggling to deal with. They've got an 18-year-old who's a midfielder playing in the centre of defence. So they've got their second-choice goalkeeper, who's capable of making errors in there. So is it all doom and gloom then for Tottenham?
It's a shame for them, because if they had their Romero and Van der Ven in there, you'd like to think that it will be shored up a little bit. But the spaces that they are leaving for people who can play at the calibre that Liverpool can play, you can let in 6 goals against that team. You know what I mean? The great thing for Tottenham is they are capable of scoring against those teams, but because of the way Angel play, and because I don't even believe they've got the defensive-minded midfielder that can actually... I probably think that Tottenham need 2 pivots, the way that they play, if they're going to go and play that high and press and try and... But they don't do it.
Two instead of none, you mean?
Yeah, 2 instead of none. I was going to say, don't need just one.
We're not double pivot yesterday.
They need 2. And the way they're playing, because he said he's not going to change. So something has to change somewhere along the line, Kels, for them to be defensively stronger against teams like that.
Can I put the case for the defence for Tottenham? I'm trying to, because I feel like the sort of narrative at the moment is this is all going wrong. It's not very sensible. Ange Postecoglou has never said he wants to play sensible football.
No.
When he has everybody fit, as you said, they're capable of beating absolutely anybody, especially when they have all their players fit. They've got bad injuries at the moment, and they still managed to score 3 goals in a game, and they are fun. Tottenham fans, I know, are getting frustrated, but they are fun. Now, if you had a choice of watching any game at the weekend, you'd probably want to watch one that involved Tottenham, wouldn't you? Because they're fun to watch.
Player and you're 5-1 down after an hour at home. It's embarrassing too.
But my point is, they're probably still... they're in the hunt still for a European place come the end of the season. They're still in with a chance of going on potentially and winning a trophy at the end of this season, which they haven't done in however long. And this might yet be a successful season for them while playing entertaining football.
I think it could be. I think he's capable. I think the way you're going to play like Ange Postecoglou, At Celtic, when you've got the best players, it doesn't matter how you play, you're going to win the league, or you're going to win more games than you're not. In the Premier League, you're not going to win the Premier League playing like this, but you can certainly win a cup. You're capable of doing that. Now, that game against Liverpool yesterday was more important for Liverpool than it was for Tottenham, in my opinion. Because Tottenham's more important game is the semi-final, two legs of the game against Liverpool. Now, I think Slot will rest players in that game, like he did against Southampton. I don't think he can take liberties like he did down there a little bit, because I think Tottenham will be too good for that. Second leg's at home, it's at Anfield, which is not great for Tottenham. But I still think they're capable of winning that and going on win the trophy. If he goes and wins the trophy, there'll be a statue of him outside Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
You know, the thing is, Tim, I worry because with this defence going up against that team, especially in the second leg at Liverpool, if, you know, Dragusin is good, he's strong, he's physical, but he's still getting to grips with the Premier League. Archie, great, is a midfielder. You're going to go to Anfield in a semi-final, second leg.
It will be February.
You know, and he's going to...
Then Van der Ven and Romero.
You hope, because if they've got those guys back, then it's a different proposition.
Absolutely.
But it's going to be tough for them if they're
always going to score.
Is there a way of playing Ange ball more sensibly? Is that possible? Is there a cut? No. Does it?
Ange but Ange ball is chaotic.
Yeah.
That's the way he wants it. You can't play Ange ball sensibly. I mean, sensibly,
you can play organised chaos, Cal.
But they continue going.
It's not fun unless it's
on the
organised
positive side, what team at 5-1 down, you're absolutely right, goes on and scores another 2 goals. You know, they keep going forward. Kulusevski, like yesterday, was magnificent. Magnificent. This boy can play for Liverpool, he can play for Arsenal, he can play for certainly Man United, he can play for the top teams. The worry is he rehearsing? Is he auditioning for them teams? Because Tottenham would need to keep all of their best players. Sonny's always going to be a threat. Maddison, we see there, never finishes a game under Postecoglou. Not really having him, but he's effective. We've seen it. He's against big teams like Man City recently, and he scored yesterday when given the opportunity, when they shot themselves in the foot a little bit, Liverpool. But they have got players up front who are exciting, and they will continue going right to the end, because that's what he demands. So a sensible Ange ball is not an option, but he will tell you that. He will continue playing this way. Can they possibly tweak it? Of course they could. Should they? Of course they should. But will they? No.
I'd love to see, Kels, I'd love to see if Ange was able to last and stay there to get the players he wants to play Ange ball, because maybe that's what we're seeing. He ain't got the players that can play Ange ball. I'd love to see that with fit defenders. And I believe that you say, what can they do to change? I think they do need defensive midfielders who let the rest of the guys get on with it.
Would you almost say, like, look, let's get to the end, maybe not the January transfer window, let him have another transfer window in the summer, despite what happens this season? Because we're hearing about Ange ball, he's not going to change how he plays, so maybe he can bring players in that he can coach to play better than the players that he's got now. He needs that opportunity, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
See, I thought it'd be nice to take a slightly different tack on Spurs, just because the doom and gloom's been covered elsewhere, and we're generally in quite a good mood. We're in a good mood for now, but there is some news on Bukayo Saka injury, which might affect the mood here in the...
9 minutes into the second half, at 3-1, they concede the first goal of the second half, and then they were chasing. And when you've got Mo Salah, you've got a chance of winning the league, haven't you, Jermaine?
Yeah, and obviously, the next goal was always going to be important. But again, transition, Tottenham are just sort of like all over the place. And yeah, I mean, Liverpool, it's just the timing of the movement, you know, making the right decisions at the right moments, just really clinical. And a lot of the goals, they look quite easy, but then it's the weight of the pass, then it's the connection. Here, you see the weight of the pass here. It's the right timing, just keeps himself one side. And there are a lot of players who make the wrong decision. But, you know, he goes across goal, gets fortunate, gets lucky, but it's because they make the right decisions all the time, and that's why they score so many goals.
And they have the numbers as well.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. You have a certain element of control, but you're also taking risks. You're committing 5 players to go forward.
And then this was the one we saw.
Yeah, I like this goal. I mean, any young centre-forward wanting to score goals, just have a look at it's a tiny thing, but Mo Salah here, I mean, he's left-footed. He could have swept it in with his left foot, but I just thought I'd make a point of it. Here, he's got to really find that corner. If he goes left foot, you watch how close the goalkeeper gets when he hits his right foot. He buys himself about an extra metre in the goal there by letting it come across, because he opens the angle more. If he hits it early, he keeps the angle closed and the goalkeeper gets it. And he's got to really be precise. Lets it come across his body, that then opens the goal a lot more. So just a tiny little thing. But as Jermaine just said there, goal scoring is about tiny matters. And if you equate it to numbers, then you're giving yourself a far better chance of scoring a goal by making the right decisions. And you have a look at this graphic now that he's just entered the big league with some of the greats of all time, obviously, with Liverpool. And he's not slowing down, is he?
Well, he's gone to all-time fourth today, as you can see, in the list. On to 229. But that last column is interesting, Michael. He is the fastest to any total. His minutes per goal is better than everybody else on that list.
Yeah, and that's the hard bit to equate, though, isn't it? Because all of those players are from a totally different generation. So it's very difficult to say when it was harder or easier to score goals. Even my generation to this generation now, it's quite difficult to say, right, well, who's the best and who's this from 10, 20 years ago. So it's quite difficult to do that, but numbers don't lie. I mean, it's quite easy to say that he's one of the all-time greats already for Liverpool. And as I say, he's not slowing down, he's not stopping. If he signs a new contract, then he'll be in the top three in no time, and then maybe one day even threatening the Ian Rush record. I never thought I'd say that.
No. Just to put it into context for my good friend, he's ninth. Only 8 people in the history of Liverpool Football Club have scored more goals.
Why didn't you put me on the list then?
Because the producer said top 5.
Right.
Nothing to do with me. I asked for top 9, but it wasn't there.
Okay.
Anyway, well, there is, but if he maintains the recent consistency, 10 wins and 2 draws from the last 12 in all competitions, they certainly won't be far away. His standards is interesting, though. When we spoke to him after the City game, he alluded to that as well, as delighted. You can hear him there. For 10 minutes, we stopped running, we conceded 2 goals.
Yeah, and it shows what can happen. But as I say, I take that with a pinch of salt in that they won't stop running. If they were playing against Arsenal today and it was 1-1 or 0-0, they wouldn't stop running. But it was a strange game today. You wouldn't look at Liverpool and say, oh, that's the way they play today. There was far less control, I guess, than what we've been used to, but that was down to the opposition. I mean, he's so impressive. Whatever he says, I'm clinging on to every word, listening to him. He thinks about it. He says it with an assurance, a calmness. He's top class, I think. And Liverpool fans, if you'd asked them, after Jurgen Klopp, the highs of Jurgen Klopp, everybody thought, oh, it can only go one way, but it's actually not. It's a continuation of brilliance.
Interesting. Let's go back to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Michael's former teammate, Danny Murphy, waiting to speak to us. Good to see you, Dan. I mean, I guess that was a privilege to be in the stadium for that crazy game, wasn't it?
You get to see it, don't you, firsthand when you hear the speed of Liverpool's play, the quality, the running power that you were talking about. Yeah, I mean, it was an advantage for Liverpool, I suppose, that 5 or 6 of them didn't even travel midweek and Tottenham had the same 11, but the quality is there, the gap is obvious. Brilliant performance, and they were never really in any trouble.
And how clinical were they?
Well, the Liverpool front players are such a threat. They're all at it at the moment. They all look a threat. But Salah doesn't matter whether he's playing well or not. His end product's unbelievable. He picks the right pass. He's there to put one in on the back post, tap. He's always in the right place at the right time. But I thought Diaz was outstanding. He doesn't stop, and he's got that game intelligence where he can play in that little deeper role as a 10, false 9, whatever you want to call it. And they've got options because Jota's back. Don't get me wrong, I thought Tottenham helped them massively in the first half. I mean, the positional play I don't know what he was trying to do with Kulusevski and Son, because Trent and Robertson were getting 2v1s all the time down the sides, hence the first 2 goals coming from it. And he was right. I was right behind Ange and he couldn't see it. It was so obvious. Trent was having a field day. So they absolutely took advantage of it and could have been 10, could have been 12.
Murph, it's Mo. I hope you're well, mate. Just watching the game, looking at the potential hurdles, let's say, for Liverpool. Do you see any? I mean, Manchester City probably blowing it already, so it's looking like Arsenal and Chelsea, but is it Liverpool that have to beat themselves now? Can you see them dropping away in any way? It looks pretty easy for them at the moment to me.
I think the only concern would be Virgil and Mo. Salah's the most reliable in terms of goals and assists, and I think Virgil is the kingpin at the back. I mean, they haven't been quite as watertight since Konaté's got the injury, although Gomez, I thought, did well today. But if those two were to have a problem, then you could potentially, maybe. Other than that, they look fit, they look sharp, they've got competition for places, the bench is good, they can buy in January if they want, 1 or 2 maybe, reinforcements. And I think, although, yeah, I agree with you, I don't think City are in it. I think Arsenal are probably the strongest contender, even though Chelsea are second at the moment. And I think even Chelsea, really, defensively, they still look like they can concede goals when I've seen them play. I think Liverpool are in a great chance, Mo. They've got it in their own hands to a degree, and their home form as well. I mean, really, really strong at home, which is key as well. But I don't see, come the last couple of weeks of the season, Liverpool not being in it at least.
That's one of your former clubs. It's interesting to hear you saying you sat right behind Ange Postecoglou today then. Where are we with Spurs? Are we at a point where there has to be a proper sort of post-mortem investigation here, or do we just accept that it isn't going to change and that's what we're going to see?
I struggle with it. I'm really struggling. I'm a bit like, same as Kara's opinion the other day. You can't play that way where it's just when you've got the ball. When they haven't got the ball, I can't see what they're trying to do. Some of it's man for man, some of it's positional. Honestly, I was lost. And at one point, you've just got to make some decisions on the pitch to stop the avalanche of chances. And the first half, it was non-stop. And he didn't do anything. And the players didn't take responsibility. I mean, I don't understand why any of the players weren't saying to Son, look, Trent's running the game. He's dictating play. He's running past you. He's getting loads of possession. At least stay with him for 10 minutes. Nobody does anything. They'll have games where they destroy teams. The other thing is, when they go a goal down here, the anxiety, you could sense it. Their confidence was drained from the players. And when they go a goal up, it's the opposite. They really go after teams and everyone wants the ball. But I don't see how it can keep going. The fans were on the edge today at one point. When it went to 5, if there'd have been another and they hadn't responded, this place would have emptied.
Murph, it's JD. So do you think the gaffer's got to take full responsibility? Because we can talk about, obviously, you know, they concede a lot of goals and, going forward they're good in that. But at some stage, surely players as well, you have to take responsibility as players and show that sort of like that football personality. But do you feel like the manager has to take full responsibility in terms of how they play?
I think it's always a balance, JD. There's a certain type of player that takes responsibility on the pitch, irrelevant to the manager's message. And I don't see too much of that going on. Even the other night against Man U, he can't be shouting on every 5 minutes to the keeper when to kick it and when to play out. That's got to be down to some of the players' responsibilities and leadership. I agree with you. But ultimately, he sets the tone, doesn't he? He sets the tone for the way they play. And I think it's not about offensively. They're great to watch, but defensively in certain games, it's not every game. Sometimes they're okay because they've got the ball a lot and their confidence is up. But I mean, against good teams, they're going to get ripped apart because we've all played the game. We know if you want to go man for man, you have to have super fit players who can run all day and be concentrated for 90 minutes and play weekend, midweek. It's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
Murph, thank you very much indeed. Great to see you.
Cheers, chaps. Stay warm in that studio, won't you?